It's day 9 in the criminal case for Sean Diddy Combs. Let's take a look at what happened inside the courtroom. After spending 4 days on the stand, Diddy's ex-partner Cassie Ventura wrapped up her testimony. On the last day of cross-examination, defense attorneys focused on the end of their relationship, including their breakup. Now, they kept pushing that even though there may have been domestic violence in the relationship, that didn't amount to criminal charges that Diddy's facing. Ventura maintained that she feared for her safety throughout the relationship and was pressured into actions she didn't want to do. Now, Ventura's testimony was vital for prosecutors, and looking ahead could be what sets the tone for the rest of the trial. To break this all down, let's bring in former federal prosecutor Nema Rahmani. Now, Nema, how impactful is Cassie's testimony going to be for the rest of the trial moving forward now?
It is impactful, but I think the government's going to need more. The defense did a good job impeaching her with her own words in those emails and text messages. So what we'll want is, at least from the prosecution perspective, is other witnesses like Don Richard to corroborate what she's saying. Obviously, other victims won't be in the same loving relationship like Cassie was with respect to Diddy. So by corroborating her story, I think the prosecution will be able to overwhelm the defense with the sheer number of victims.
Do you think prosecutors are building their entire case around Cassie, or is there going to be a lot more to see and hear for the jury over the next couple of weeks?
I don't think the prosecution can rely just on Cassie Ventura. There are some challenges there because she was in the relationship for such a long time. And, I represent victims, I believe victims, but there are certain people on the jury that may ask, well, why did she stay if she was being coerced and forced? And, why did she use drugs on all these other occasions when she says she was drugged in the freak-offs? Or, what about Combs having sex with other women while Cassie watched, right? That plays into that swingers argument. So in addition to the emails, the text messages, there were some things that came out during the day and a half of cross-examination that hurt the prosecution. So I don't think they want to go all in on one witness, even though, of course, she is the government's most important witness.
I guess hearing that, do you think she was a strong witness?
I think she was a strong witness. This is part of the psychology of abuse. Anyone who's prosecuted a domestic violence or sexual abuse case understands that sometimes victims even love their abusers. That is not uncommon. The government, of course, will bring on an expert witness to opine to this and testify about this very phenomenon. But jurors are ordinary people, and they probably all know at least one person who is in a toxic relationship. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Okay, well, now that the star witness is done, how do you anticipate this trial is going to go moving forward?
Moving forward, we're going to see a few categories of witnesses. The most important, of course, are other victims. We want people telling the same story of physical and sexual violence if you are the prosecution. Obviously, the defense is going to argue that they're lying because this is all about money. It's a shakedown. Many of them have filed civil lawsuits, or that they want fame or revenge for some reason. And then the other categories of witnesses will be the independent witnesses. So anyone who happened to observe the freak-offs or be percipient, some of them may be former employees. I mean, the biggest one, of course, is Christina Horam, who is Diddy's right-hand woman. The question is she going to testify? What is she going to say? She really does know where the bodies are buried. And then we'll see law enforcement witnesses as well. We've already started to see that, just to document what was seized from Combs' hotel room in New York and his Los Angeles and Miami homes.
So we've got a long way to go, basically.
Yeah, we're barely getting started.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nema. Really, really appreciate it.
Of course, great being on as always. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Of course.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.